All right, to wrap up this podcast, guys, of course we're talking about it, the most hyped up esport of all time. And speaking of esports, Valorant has now released a few details of its future in esports. Zan, you want to hit him with some of the soft details?
Yeah, and when Jake says a few details, he really means a few details.
Literally, like just about nothing.
And realistically speaking, in broad strokes, what Riot has said is that they want Valorant to essentially build, at least initially, from the community. They want the community to kind of take the esports scene and mold it into what they want it to be, and then from there, Riot is going to step back in and get involved and see. They said they kind of want the scene to be built off of the community's backs in a weird way.
I'm not. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
It seems like a very generic kind of opening up. Like, hey, we don't want to starve our game right away by going this typical franchise model, which by the way is under heavy fire right now. We have plans for esports, but we want you guys to build it up first and see what happens.
Yeah, which I mean, obviously, I think not going for the franchise model right out of the gate is smart.
Yes, it is.
But them saying that they're not really going to be doing their own in-house tournaments like at all in general.
Right off the bat,
is
interesting. And I think I will speak for a lot of people out there who have voiced their concerns about this, especially when it comes to a Call of Duty franchise. Call of Duty just this past season, entering its first franchise season with that league over there. I think people are worried about that Riot and Tencent announced this for Valorant. If you're a TO, you're like, oh, I'm going to jump in on that. Your ESL, your Starlighter, your DreamHack, whoever you are, you come in, you build, like you said, the ground up. You do all the groundwork, all the legwork.
You take on all the risk.
The tough stuff.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the scene takes off like Riot wants it to, and then they come in 2, 3, 4 years from now and say, all right, TOs, you're done. Franchise model in place. League of Legends copied over to Valorant tournament style. No third-party organizers. It is all franchise model. That's what people are worried about.
Yeah, and I think they're right to be worried because we've seen, like, Riot is very, very, let's be blunt here, they're kind of not community-friendly when it comes to tournaments. We just saw in the past few months how they are aggressively limiting the way that high school and college tournaments can be held.
People do not know about this.
Yeah.
And you brought it to light, and sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're good.
You deserve to stress this because I feel like there's going to be a lot of Riot fanboys that are like, we do a great job. We run the best esport. You're right. You run the best esport in the world. But when it comes to actual tournaments,
when it comes to the community,
you don't run
letting like the community actually, like, I don't see what the problem would be with a group of high schoolers just saying like, hey, we want to have a League of Legends tournament at our school. But Riot is very aggressively like, yeah, but you got to play by our rules. You can't say the word league in your
and we're limiting your prize pool and everything you give out and the number of people that can participate and the sponsors you can have.
And you can't hold a tournament over. It's got to be finished in X amount of time,
and you can only hold tournaments with this sponsor 3 times this year. It's very interesting critiques.
Very, very restrictive on Riot's part, and hopefully they'll learn from how the community has responded to it because I think these are definitely valid concerns. Hopefully they'll be more open and willing to let the third-party scene thrive because I do think that's how an esport stays like really successful long term.
Yeah, and it's super tough to negotiate or kind of just speculate here because you look at League of Legends, but it's not an FPS, and we don't know if the success of a model or a structure of an esport is based off the type of game, right?
Right.
League of Legends in their current model is obviously the best in the entire world. It's the most watched and played game in esport currently, so that model works great for League of Legends. Who's to say that model wouldn't work the same for Valorant? We don't know. But when it comes to FPS games, Counter-Strike and their tournament scene has done amazingly well with their current tournament structure and model of tournament organizers and not a franchise model. So Valorant's definitely tippy-toeing a weird line here, right? They want to compete with Counter-Strike. They want to do very good things like League of Legends does, but which model/structure do they use? They say, hey, community, you build it up first, and then we'll play ball in a few years. We'll see if they stick to their guns or if they change things up.
It really makes me think of that meme that you see all the time where it's just like it's 2 people and one of them has like an object and they say, I made this, and then they hand it over and the other person's like, now I made this.
I always think of the meme that's like the 2 guys that are like holding hands and they both have like the biceps bulging and they're like meeting in the middle. Like, I have nothing else to add, but not relevant at all.
Welcome to our new segment, Meme Corner. Dude, meme review.
I don't watch memes. Oh, God dang it. Either way, well, let's end on this. Are you worried about it being built in the community first?
Absolutely. I think community organizers do an excellent job, and they deserve to be supported and they deserve all the hard effort and work that they put into what eventually equates to the success of the game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, I think the game dev, it's only in their best interest to allow them to keep doing what they're doing.
I agree. I wouldn't say I'm as concerned yet. I'm more so concerned about the years from now what happens. Also, though, I'm interested to see how they ride that line of CSGO being very oversaturated, too many events, and maybe to some people out there like Fortnite or League of Legends, just not enough events, or not enough variety of events, I should say. So we'll see how they ride that line. Valorant esports coming soon. The plan's been initiated. We'll see how they roll things out.